Somebody asked, how do I convert posts and sales into buyers? I don't do sales often, but I do a few times through the year. However, I never get sales generated from them. All right, so this is a great question. You have a Facebook page and you're not exactly sure, like nothing is happening, nobody's buying, nobody's interacting, nobody's engaging with your content. It's all just kind of sitting there. You're not getting sales. So, what goes through a lot of people's mind is, well, if I'm not getting sales, then I'll have a sale. If I have a sale, I'll get sales ipso facto, right? If I have a sale, I'll get sales. So they go on to onto their page, which is already just kind of dead and gathering dust and not producing sales in the first place. And they run a 10% off sale or a buy one, get one half off or some kind of Christmas sale or something. And they post that sale and they make a post about it and they sit back waiting for all this traffic to their website or their Etsy page or even people just messaging them and waiting for all these sales to come in, right? Surely the only reason people weren't buying was because the price was too high. If I do a sale, I'll get the people that are actually following me to buy. And that's the mistake, right? The reason people aren't buying isn't because your price is too high normally. But normally, for the vast majority of people, the reason people aren't buying isn't because your prices are too high. The reason they're not buying is because they don't want it yet. All right. So when you go in and say get 10% off, I want you to think of it like if you have an unengaged following, if you have followers, but they're not really engaged in what you're saying, they haven't been engaging in your posts, they're not buying in the first place, then think of like your 10% off as something like here's 10% off of something you already don't want. That's really what it is. 10% off something you already don't want. Now that doesn't mean they'll never want it. It doesn't mean that your products are not good and desirable in the grand scheme of things. But the difference is, or the problem comes from assuming that people want our products simply because they're following our page. They may need some convincing. And in fact, a lot of people need some convincing. They need that flame of desire stoked until they can't stand it anymore and they pull out their credit card to buy. When people purchase online, there are all kinds of impediments between where they are and actually making the purchase. So they may not have their credit card in front of them. They may be standing in line at the bank when they see your posts. There's all kinds of inconveniences, small things that pop up that cause somebody to not buy. It's different than if somebody is at a show. You're setting up at an art and craft show and you've got all of your stuff out on the table and they came with money already in their wallet. Their intention was to buy. They look around, they say, okay, I want this thing. You tell them how much it is, they pay for it and they walk away, right? That's a really easy way to buy. And it's an easy way to buy a lot of things. Like people could really stock up while they're at a craft show. Online, we have friction, right? That buying process is not as easy. They don't get it right away. They don't get the instant gratification. They don't get to hold it in their hands. They're not sitting online with their wallet in their hand ready to purchase something. They're not even in the mindset of buying when they're online. They're not quite sure how they would use it yet. They're not sure what color they would like or what size they would like or what makes the most sense for them. So they have all of this friction between where they are and ultimately the purchase. Now, sometimes having a sale can relieve some of that friction. It can make people say, ooh, that's such a good deal and I already want that thing. Therefore, I'm going to lay my money down and get it right now and wait for the shipping and all that. That sale is enough to get over the friction. But it's like if they're here and the purchase is here, if they're here and they haven't quite yet purchased, running a sale can get them the rest of the way. But running a sale is not going to get them from here to here unless you're deeply, deeply discounting. And I don't recommend handmade sellers do that unless you're like just trying to get some clearance stuff out of there, right? So they're here and your product is here. You want to get them from here to here and ultimately to there, right? The here to here happens with your posts, with building that relationship. It happens with you becoming more visible in their newsfeed. And if up until that point you've only been posting boring salesy posts, then they're ignoring you in the newsfeed. The algorithm's delivering your posts less. So even if you're posting every day, if your posts are boring, they're not seeing them, right? So they're not getting reminded of you. They're forgetting that you exist. When they do see your posts, they seem very, very salesy. And salesy works when they're here. Salesy doesn't work when they're here. So it's not moving them forward at all. And in fact, sometimes it pushes them backwards. And so they're staying over here and you want them here. How do we fix that? We fix that through engagement. We fix that through posts that are actually interesting to our audience. We fix that by posting things that make them lean in and say, oh my gosh, I love that. I have to have it. That is the coolest thing ever. I love how she made that, following along with a work in progress, watching you come up with new ideas, seeing other products that you're posted as sold and like, oh man, when it comes up again, I better jump on it. Hearing your story, seeing you go live, watching your videos about your products, hearing you talk about how to use the product, or that Mother's Day is coming up. Oh yeah, Mother's Day. I need to get something for Mother's Day. All of those things are moving the person like this, right? And for some people, you don't even have to have a sale. In fact, for a lot of people, when you do this right, when you really engage with your audience and you build that relationship with them and they become fans, right? Not just followers, but fans. When they become fans, then boom, they'll come over, right? So some people, it happens very quickly. Others, it happens more slowly. Now, there are those who will get stuck here and they're waiting for a sale, right? There's also people that are buying, and then when you have a sale, they're just even more excited about it. But we got to get them at least this far. If you're not even getting engagement on your posts, how are you going to get them to see the post about your sale? Because the algorithm's already deciding not to deliver stuff to them. And then they're seeing the post about your sale and they're like, I don't even know what this is. I don't even know what I'm supposed to be buying. I've seen a lot of people run sales where it's like a 10% off sale and it's unclear what even the product is. And a 10% sale is not going to move a lot of people, right? 10% off is not going to move a lot of people. And I'm not saying that you ever have to discount a product. You never have to discount a product. It can work really, really great, but there are different ways of running sales that do not include discounts whatsoever. But promotions, right? So, when people are stuck here and they're like, I'm on the edge of buying and you want to run some kind of promotion, that's when you're going to see success. But if you're trying to run a promotion and your people are this far out, it's just not going to work. So rather than focusing on the promotions and the sales, rather than discounting your products because you believe that nobody's going to buy unless you discount your product, which is totally undervaluing your work, instead of doing that, focus 100% on building the relationship. 100% on building the relationship. Show up, go live, right? Go live, talk to your audience, post every day, post engaging content. Answer frequently asked questions. Give them ideas on how to use your product. Show them new things that you've created, with not in a salesy way, not in a here's the price and DM me if you want to buy it, or here's a link to my website, but just be like, I'm really proud of this thing that I just made. I wasn't sure if it would turn out, and it did, and it's really, really great. Ask them engaging questions like this or that. Should I put a yellow bow on it or a pink bow on it? Which one of these is your favorite? Scale of 1 to 10. How much do you love this, right? And this is exactly what we give you in the Prompts for Profits calendar. If you follow the Prompts for Profits calendar and you have other things in place like a unique product focus and all of that, and we talk about that in the super seller system. If you're following the Prompts for Profits calendar, then you're building that relationship with your audience. You're making more interesting content that they want to engage with, that they're going to stop and read and actually like the post, comment on the post. And that feeds the algorithm. It allows your post to go out to more people. They're stopping and reading it and engaging it. And so now they're used to seeing you, and they're used to seeing your products, and they're seeing all kinds of different ways to use your products and different colors and different varieties and different things that you do within that product focus. And then if you want to have a sale, that's going to work. But you may find at that point in time, you don't need to have a sale, right? You don't need to have a sale in order to make sales. Okay. So it is not always dependent on the price. The relationship is most important. The relationship is most important. There's an old saying in internet marketing that the money is in the list, right? If you have an email list, or if you have, followers on social media, the money is in the list. And one of the marketing guys I follow, I think it was Frank Kern, but I don't really remember. He said, no, the money is not in the list. The money is in the relationship with the list. If you have 10,000 followers and zero relationship, you can run sales till the cows come home and you're not going to sell anything. But if you have 1,000 followers and they know, like, and trust you, and they're eagerly watching for your next post, and they're already buying, if you want to have a Facebook Live sale, a product launch, if you want to have an album sale, any one of those things, you're going to have a lot more success in that, because you already have the relationship with the list. And again, you don't even need to have any kind of live sale or album sale if you're getting enough sales throughout. I see Lana saying that she's never had a sale. She doesn't mean she's never sold anything. She's never had a sale, right? Lana doesn't discount her products. Lana doesn't have a website like a 25% off everything on the website. Lana doesn't do album sales because Lana has such a great relationship with her following. She doesn't need to. She can sell anything and everything that she has. She goes live. She posts her work in progress. She talks about her products, and she makes wow products. That really helps too. And so she doesn't need to put anything on sale. She's actually raised her prices over the years. Lana says, PFP is the best thing ever. I joined this program years ago because of it. It is. It really is the best thing. It takes all the guesswork out of posting to Facebook. It takes all the guesswork out. You just go to the PFP. Today is March 4th, 2025. There's the March 4th. We publish a brand new calendar every single month. So you go to the March 4th calendar, or you go to the March calendar, go to the 4th, and it tells you exactly what to post. And so you don't have to keep guessing, like, am I doing too much of this? Am I doing too much of that? We make sure there's the right kinds of posts in there, as well as the right kind of post mix. So you're not posting the same kinds of things over and over and over again, that you have variety in your posts, which is really important. If you post the same stuff over and over again, you're going to bore the pants off your audience. They're going to be like, I've seen these things a million times. You keep asking me scale of 1 to 10, like 4 times this week. So you definitely need to have that mix and variety of people actually, or variety of posts that you're putting out on your page. All right, let's go to another question. And again, if you're listening, watching, and you have a question, go ahead and drop it in the chat below, and I will be more than happy to answer your question. But in the meantime, I've got another one here. Let's see. I'm going to answer this one really quick because this comes up a lot. But it's very related to what I just said. But I want to make sure that I answer it because it does come up a lot.